he's acknowledging it's not good enough. And I know for fans, they're saying, well, we don't care. I just want people to know no one is more frustrated with his own work than Charlie Morton, because he said he feels like he's putting the team in a bind. Well, Mark DeRosa just a little bit ago, Zach, went on MLB Network and explained how, the Orioles here, they could have been in a better position with their starting rotation if they had done some things in the offseason. So let's play that clip for you guys.
Biggest concern, lack of depth. They have drafted and developed a bunch of stud position players, right? Haven't drafted a pitcher since 2019, and there's questions about that around the team in the first round. But that is, and I was talking to Nays about this earlier this morning, that's not uncommon, right? In a rebuild, get as many strong position players, you're thinking what? And then go outside for pitching.
You don't know what goes on behind the scenes as far as phone calls, trades, free agents, and all that. You can only kind of surmise. All I know is this. I feel like they had a chance to be 2 years ago, like the perennial American League power with the young position players. They had the best farm system in baseball at the time.
Yeah.
And they did, in my opinion, very little with it. I take you back to 2023. You finished with 101 wins, the most in the American League. You could have gone out and gotten a guy like Dylan Cease. You got Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty's a darn good pitcher. He's proven it over his time. But you needed that 1-1.
Yeah.
Been saying they've needed that 1-1. They end up losing to the Rangers in DS. Okay? Now you go out and you get Corbin Burns. Got it. And he was phenomenal for you. Then at the deadline last year, you go out and get Zach Eflin. Loved it. But then you also needed another one.
Yeah.
And you went out and got Trevor Rogers, who hasn't done anything for you. It just seemed like they were, instead of just like, boom, here we go, we're going to punch in the mouth, this is our best team, we're going to try and win a World Series. It was like we were trying to we can still get into the postseason and still start building our rotation for 2025 and 2026. They should have Garrett Crochet in their rotation. Mm-hmm. The Boston Red Sox should not have him.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. They missed an opportunity. Are they good enough to go to the postseason and contend? Yes, certainly. But the pitching staff's light. You know it.
Yeah.
Got to get guys healthy.
And Grayson Rodriguez being injured, that doesn't help either.
No, it doesn't. Injuries suck. Lat injuries suck. Dr. Yoni told us that with True Sports. I actually like the Dr. Yoni. It's going to stick. But here's the reality. The Orioles, of the one guy, Zach, this is what we talked about in the offseason. If they truly wanted Garrett Crochet, they could have gone to a bidding war with the Red Sox. That's the one guy in the offseason where I was sitting there going, that's the pitcher they could have gotten. And we'll go through later on of seeing how some of these pitchers and what starts that they are off to, the high-profile guys. But Garrett Crochet could have been a Baltimore Oriole. Now, they wanted Sam Basayo, so you're going to have to work in a different deal and leave Sam out to get Garrett Crochet. And I'm with the Orioles on that. No way I was going to trade Sam Basayo. Zero. But the injuries have mounted up. It's a tough start for the group. You know me. I'm not pushing a panic button on this team to not get going, because look at the rest of the American League, right? But the one thing I just want to say is that pressure builds over time. And for Charlie Morton, pressure is slowly building for him. It's not that he hasn't gone through slumps and gone through moments, but you can tell there's a little bit more stress because of the injuries to the team, because of what he signed for 1 year, and what people then expect from him. One of the best examples here that I can try to illustrate what's going on with Charlie Morton. Charlie is a guy that relies on his curveball. I want to emphasize that, okay? So what's that mean? It means that curveball, unlike with people's fastball set up everything else, his curveball sets up everything else for him. So let me give you an example here on batting average against his curveball. Actually, Zach, I'll get this photo up. Screw it. You ready for a little show and tell? Let's do it. If I can pull it up. Over under 5 seconds.
Oh, I feel like we already smashed the over.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, right there. Got it. Okay, so I want you guys to look at this. His curveball in 2024, the average batting average was guys hitting 200 off of it. Okay? As our guard dog, make sure that we're safe in here. Curveball, people are hitting 200. In 2025 right now, opposing hitters are hitting 435 off of his curveball. He's had trouble with walks. His four-seamer, you can see, guys aren't really hitting his four-seamer. They're hitting 111. It's crazy, right? It's supposed to be the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't have your pitch that sets up everything, you're going to be in a problematic spot. Last year in 2024, they slugged 309, Zach. If you see those numbers, 870 off his curveball. That's his best pitch. That's where he says, that's my bread and butter. I'm going to throw it. If he can correct that, I think we're going to see numbers get better. But you can see that that is the clearest indication there. And yeah, I can see the cutters giving it up, but all the time, that is something that Charlie Morton has thrived on. That's what he's needed. But Zach, I think fans, they have a right to feel worried because of the injuries and because now Charlie is the guy that everyone's looking towards because of what he's done in his past. But so far, it's not the recipe for success here in 25.
Yeah, and I mean, the Orioles, unfortunately, put Charlie Morton in this situation. It's extremely unfortunate. I feel bad for the guys like Charlie Morton for a lot of reasons because, well, let's look at it this way. Charlie Morton, a Sagano, a Povich, these guys were supposed to be, okay, Morton's going to be the back-end guy. He's going to be your veteran. You want him to be your veteran kind of in that 4 or 5 spot to get reps, eat innings, and just kind of, okay, go get, maybe the bullpen's not doing great or it's been overused. Go get a 6-7 innings so we can rest guys, stuff like that. Then obviously you have Povich, was supposed to be kind of that 5-6 guy. You look at him, you're like, hey, you're here to get your feet underneath you, try to make stuff happen, see what's working, see what's not. Sagano, kind of the same thing. You're like, okay, we want to see what you have. This is a wild card for us. If he does well, this can take the rotation to the next level. Well, then you lose Grayson, you lose Eflin. Now, all of a sudden, Charlie Morton went from, hey, he's the veteran presence to, okay, now we need you to go win ball games. Not only that, we need you to be reliable. Cade Povich, we need you to go win ball games. Sagano, we need you to go win ball games. Albert Suarez isn't out there. Dean Kramer goes from, okay, he's pitched really well last year. Towards the end, he's going to be your solid number 3 that can go grind out games, battle. Now, all of a sudden, he goes from a guy that you're like, hey, just go grind, get stuff done, to, hey, we need you to win as well. So the injuries are what's completely derailed this, but in the same sense, if you do have a Crochet, you're not thinking about the injuries as much. If you do have that front line guy right there, even with Grayson going down, even with Eflin going down, you still feel confident that you're going to get a win every 5 days. There's not someone in the Orioles rotation right now that I can look at and say, that's a win every 5 days. Kind of last year at Corbin when he was working, when he was doing his thing, you had a feeling, okay, every 5 days when Corbin's on the mound, you're going to see most likely a win. There are not that many guys. So there's no one on the Orioles rotation right now that I can look at and say, okay, because of injuries or whatever, I can't look at them and go, okay, that's going to be a win every 5 days.
The confidence meter probably revolves now around Sagano and with Cade Povich, quite frankly, at least because Dean Kramer's a slow starter. We've seen that. Charlie Morton has had his struggles. But yesterday, what I hate for it to wrap this up? I hate that it was really close to being a great outing for Charlie, right? Like if you look at how the game went, only 1 run. It's a 1-0 game going into the 5th, right? The bats are cold starting off. They're trying to get it going. And then the 5th inning rolls around, and here come the Guardians. Guardians sacrifice fly. Stephen Kwan goes big ball, and that changes the complexion of the game. Charlie gets out of that. We're feeling good. Then the next inning, the Guardians go right back to it. What do they do, Zach? Sacrifice fly. Kwan, single to right, scores the guy. So there's moments there where you're going, hey, it's close, but because of what the room for error is, it isn't good enough at this juncture. And with Charlie Morton, I love the addition, but Charlie, even in Atlanta, didn't have to be burdened with the load of being the top guy. I know Strider went down, but they had Strider, they had Max Fried, right? Right now, Charlie is that guy that is taking on more of the brunt work, and I hope that he puts it together because it's ultimately going to help with the Orioles' success.